Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, today we're going to be talking about the conflict between Congo and Rwanda once again. Now, I believe it was last night or this morning, the leaders of the East African community, the East African heads of state, met at a summit to discuss the current conflict going on in the region. Everybody hopped on a private jet. I believe the summit was being held in Tanzania. Everybody came out of Tanzania. Paul Kagame was in the building, as well as the other heads of state. Now, the president of the Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, he did not come out. He did not fly out. He attended the meeting digitally through private video chat. Now, some individuals on social media are saying that was a precaution for his safety. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable, hopping on a plane right now. I don't know, but that's what it is. And as somebody myself who has never been a fan of flying, I completely understand, especially during times of hostility. I'm definitely not going anywhere near an aircraft. But anyways, man, let's jump into these articles. Let's talk about the developments. Take a look up on the screen. As you can see by the headline, African leaders call for direct talks with the rebels to resolve the Congo conflict, right? So the East African heads of state have come to the conclusion that the central government in the Congo should actually entertain discussion with a rebel group that has spilled the blood of the sons and daughters of the nation. Now, if you ask me, to me, that's simply humiliation, honestly. But anyways, let's jump into these articles. Leaders at an unprecedented joint summit of Eastern and Southern African blocs aimed at defusing the crisis in Eastern Congo urged all parties to hold direct talks, including with the Rwanda-backed rebels whose advance has fanned fears of a wider war. In late January, the M23 rebels captured Goma, the largest city in the Eastern Congo, the worst escalation of fighting in more than a decade that has left thousands dead. Despite announcing a unilateral ceasefire, they have continued to march south towards the city of Bukavu. Over the past month, M23's lightning advances have expanded its control over North Kivu's lucrative coltan gold and tin mines, uprooting thousands in what has already been one of the world's most dire humanitarian crises. Aid groups that have been helping to relieve overwhelmed hospitals as health workers race against time to bury the bodies of at least 2,000 killed in the battle for Goma amid concerns of disease spreading. We must resist the temptation to think that we can somehow shoot or bombard our way to a solution, said Kenyan President William Ruto at the opening ceremony for the summit, which was attended by 8 heads of state, including Rwanda's Paul Kagame. Congo's Felix Tshisekedi joined via video link. Congo has repeatedly refused to talk directly to the M23, and there was no immediate response from the Congolese delegation to the joint communique from the summit in Dar es Salaam. Now, after the summit, Paul Kagame put out a statement on social media via the Twitter account of the presidency. Now, he said this: "The Democratic Republic of the Congo cannot just tell us to keep quiet when they are mounting a security problem against our country. Nobody can tell us to shut up. We have been begging the Congo and its leaders for a long time. We have shared our issues and asked the Congo to address them, and they have refused. Let us not just have another meeting like the many we have had. We cannot go on forever massaging problems. What is happening there is an ethnic war that has been brewing for a long time. Denying people's rights and then attacking Rwanda. You must recognize people's rights and take a step and resolve the issue. This war was started by the Congo and not anything from Rwanda. It was just brought and put on our shoulders, and we were told to own it. We cannot own it. There is no question about it." Now, in typical fashion, Paul Kagame coming with the propaganda. Not only is he coming with the propaganda, but actually he is saying that the Congo has been the aggressor in the relationship, right? So the relationship between Rwanda and the Congo, he is saying that actually the Congo is the aggressor in the relationship, and actually Rwanda is the victim. Right, Rwanda is the one that's been victimized, and the Congo is the one that's actually on the offensive and trying to, attacking Rwanda. That's what he's saying, right? We didn't do nothing, right? He said Congo initiated hostilities against us. That's what he's saying. That's what he believes. Now, I do want to address his statement, though. He accuses the Congo of denying rights, denying, people their rights, and, you have to respect people's rights and resolve their issue and, human rights, whatever, right? And obviously he's talking about his ethnic group. He's talking about his tribe, right? He's talking about the Tutsis, or I believe in Congo, they call them the Manyumulenge. Now he accuses the Congo of denying these individuals their rights, so to speak, right? So I'm going to play a clip. And if you're Congolese or you're Rwandan, you could get into the comment section and give me your interpretation of that and if it's accurate or not. Run the clip. I'll be right back.
During Kabila's time, Azarias Ruberwa, who is the Munyamulenge, was the vice president. Nyarugabo, who is the Munyamulenge, was the deputy speaker in the government. General Malik was the deputy army commander. Bisengimana was the head of the police. There are so many, even today, there are a lot of Munyamulenge who are brigade commanders, regional commanders, battalion commanders, including General Masunzu, who has just been appointed recently as a zonal commander, and General Gasita, who has been appointed recently. They even have a minister Munyamulenge in the government. The Minister of Infrastructure in Congo is a Munyamulenge.
Now, the same Congolese government who Paul Kagame claims is denying these individuals from this ethnic group, his ethnic group, by the way, denying them of their human rights, he's saying that these individuals have occupied high-ranking positions in government, even as a minority group in the country, right? A small, tiny minority group. They've been elevated to high positions of power in the nation, right? To vice president, deputy speaker of the government, general in the army, army commanders, chief of police, minister of infrastructure, brigade commander, battalion commander, etc., etc. These are the individuals who Kagame says have been denied their human rights in the Congo. And keep in mind, they're a tiny minority group and still have been able to elevate within Congolese society. So when Kagame makes the statement that they have been denied their rights in the Congo, I really want to ask him, what is he only going to be happy if they dominate all sectors of Congolese society? Because the way he was making it sound, he made it seem like they could even go to the store and order a sandwich without being discriminated against. Coming to find out, they've risen to the highest levels of power within Congolese society. So honestly, if I had the opportunity to ask Kagame a few questions, that would definitely be one of those questions. What exactly are you looking for exactly? Like, what is going to make you happy? Are you only going to be happy if Congo becomes a complete vassal of Rwanda? Like, what is the end game? Anyways, man, let's take a look at some of the reactions on social media. This person said, "How did Congo start the war, yet you are the one who attacked in 1996 and 1998 and started wars there? You have been using puppet leaders like Kabila Sr., who you killed, and Kabila Joseph for your gains. Own up to your mess, please. Congolese people need peace." Now, it's funny that he mentioned Kabila, because when I look at the leader of the M23, the so-called leader of the M23, it seems like, deja vu all over again, like Kabila back in the 90s. Remember how back in the 90s, to destabilize the Congo, Kagame went to the opposition and backed the opposition to topple the government in the Congo, and then he installed Kabila as his so-called puppet leader, was supposed to be his puppet leader, but then Kabila turned on him like a real one. Kabila turned on him like a gangster. Take a look up on the screen. This person in my comment section last week, he said this: Kagame is doing the same thing he did to Kabila Sr. He roped them in to invade the Congo and then installed them into power to control. Exactly. That's the same vibes I'm getting with this guy right here, the so-called M23 leader. I think his name is Cornel Nanga. I'm getting the same vibes. It's Kabila back in the 90s, deja vu all over again, man. Get some shadowy figure from the opposition, back him, support him, fund him, cut a deal with him, and then back his regime if he gets into power.
The world had no idea what was coming. Officially, the attack was led by a new rebel group, the Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo, AFDL, fronted by a shadowy Congolese figure known as Laurent Desire Kabila. But this was all a facade. The AFDL was Kagame's creation, sort of a Trojan horse meant to give the invasion the illusion of an internal Congolese rebellion. In reality, this was Rwanda's war.
Now, as you can see, like I said, it's deja vu, man. It's like a rerun of a TV show. He's seen this episode many times before. It's the same script, same characters damn near too. Even in the modern day, like the brother said, giving it the illusion that this is an internal Congolese rebellion against the central government, instead of the reality, which, no, this is backed by foreign actors, right? This is backed by foreign powers. As you can see, 1997 to 2024, right? Same playbook, same tactics, not much has changed, right? Find some random guy from the opposition, cut a deal with him and have him be the front man for the movement while you work from behind the scenes and you send the troops and the rebels and the weapons and everything like that. And he's simply the face, he's simply the figurehead. Now, one thing I'll salute Kabila Sr. for doing is, once he got into power, once he got himself settled and situated, he told Kagame to kick rock. He told Kagame and his men, listen, it's time to go back to Kigali, right? Listen, thank you for installing me into power, but listen, it's time to go home, right? He did him like the French. He did him like the boys in the Sahel did the French. Listen, it's time to go home. It's time to pack up the bags, right? It's time to go home, right? Listen, it's Big Kabila, listen, I'm in power now, so you got to go, bruh. I know there are a lot of Congolese who view Kabila Sr. as a traitor for cutting a deal with the foreign government and taking up arms against the republic, but I'll give him some points for, when he got into power, he told Kagame to kick rock. So, we go give him credit for that.
But now that he was president, He didn't feel like it. They called him a puppet, a man installed by Paul Kagame and Uganda's Yoweri Museveni. And then in 1998, just 1 year after taking power, Kabila made his move. He expelled all Rwandan and Ugandan military advisors from his government, publicly humiliating Kagame. He turned to Angola, Zimbabwe, and Namibia, forging a new alliance.
The direct antecedent of the war occurred in July 1998, when Kabila dismissed his Rwandan chief of staff, James Kabarebe, and formally requested that all Rwandan military units leave the country. Instead, on August 2nd, the 10th Brigade of the Congolese army, stationed in Goma and primarily made up of Tutsis, announced their defection from the government. These Congolese rebels eventually renamed themselves the Rally for Congolese Democracy, or RCD, and were backed by Rwanda and Uganda, who soon invaded in support. Or perhaps more accurately, the defecting rebels offered those two countries a retroactive justification for the war they already wanted. This coalition struck their first devastating blow 2 days later in an attack they called Operation Katona, led by the recently unemployed James Kabarebe. On August 4th, 200 Ugandan and Rwandan troops flew aboard 4 Boeing airliners stolen from Goma to the Katona Air Base, located just 250 miles away from the capital city of Kinshasa.
Now, in that video, they had mentioned the Battle of Katona. I believe it was called Operation Katona, where the Rwandan military got washed. The Rwandan military got washed. Them boys had to run into the forest for safety. Take a look up on the screen. Operation Katona was a Rwandan and Ugandan offensive that marked the beginning of the Second Congo War. Rwanda hoped to depose Laurent Desire Kabila and install a government more favorable to Rwanda's interests by quickly taking control of Kinshasa and the strategic western province of Bakongo. In August 4th, 1998, joint Rwandan and Ugandan forces launched a surprise attack on Katona Air Base in western Congo using hijacked civilian airliners. While initially successful in taking control of major ports and infrastructure, Zimbabwean and Angolan intervention prevented the Rwandans and Ugandans from taking control of Kinshasa. The invading forces were forced to withdraw to the jungles of Angola until they were evacuated by air to Rwanda in late 1998. Them boys had to flee into the jungles. Them boys ran for their lives. Them boys invaded the Congo and ran for their lives, boy. Now, that's why it's so egregious for Paul Kagame to actually say in his statement today that Congo has been the aggressor. Right? He said Congo started the conflict. This is Congo's responsibility. Congo started all of this. Congo's doing this. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Protect my human rights. I'm the victim. But as you can see, it was Kagame who struck first militarily back in the mid-90s to install a leader in the Congo that was favorable to his interests. And when that leader decided to go out on his own and be his own man, he invaded a second time once again. And then, of course, was thoroughly humiliated. And just from initiating those two conflicts, the First and the Second Congo Wars, millions of black men, women, and children died as a result of disease, starvation, and homicidal violence. Now, last time I checked, Congo has never launched an offensive against Rwanda, where 5, 6, 7, 10 million Rwandese ended up dying as a result. And even after initiating those two conflicts, which many compared to the European World Wars, he went on to support various other warlords and various destabilizing agents in the region, such as infamous figures like Laurent Nkunda, or men like Bosco Ntaganda, who's doing like 30 years in prison for crimes against humanity, right? And now in the modern day, we got this leader of M23. So as you can see, this is obviously, like I said, this guy does not stop, right? So if it's anybody that needs to defend himself and remain constantly on a defensive posture, it's the Congo. It's not Rwanda, right? This narrative that Paul Kagame is trying to push by saying that we are victims of the Congo and Congo has started this and Congo is the aggressor and I'm just defending myself against the Congo, the almighty powerful Congo, as if Congo has this powerful military that can really do crazy damage against Rwanda. 1 minute they're saying that the Congolese military does not have the capacity to administer and govern the entire territory. The next minute they're making it seem like the Congolese military is so powerful that we have been victims and we need to be on a constant defensive posture against the Congolese military that's going to attack us. Please stop, bro. Goddamn well the Congolese military is not going to attack you. They've never launched a full-on invasion assault into your country the same way you have. You've invaded by land, you've invaded by air, and if there was an ocean, you probably would have invaded by sea as well. I think you've invaded off the coast as well. So you've invaded by land, by air, by sea. The Congolese government has never done such a thing to you ever, bro. Now, would they be justified if they did after millions of sons and daughters of the nation have died? That's another conversation. But as it stands right now, they've never done what you have done to them. They've never invaded by land, by air, by sea in the hopes of toppling your regime. They've never engaged in transnational criminality such as illegally smuggling critical minerals over the border and exporting it through their own government. They've never done what you've done to them, but you make it seem like you have to be constantly on your guard against the Congo government, who you say attacked you first and started this conflict first, when you know goddamn well you've been the primary aggressor in order to maintain this predatory relationship that you got with the Congo, because the relationship you got with the Congo is predatory. It's not one based on mutual benefit and, you know, mutual friendship. It's a predatory relationship. And it's egregious that you're trying to paint a predatory relationship as somehow you are the victim or somehow you are under attack. The least you could do is be a man and stand 10 toes down on what you are doing. Anyways, let's take a look at some of these reactions. This person said, my unpopular take is that there is little chance that talks can resolve the crisis in the Eastern Congo, at least for now, due to the current conditions, as has been for decades now. Peace achieved through dialogue is and will always be viewed by the Congolese as coercive and therefore unsustainable. The solution is Congo building the Congolese armed forces and exercising deterrence and real authority in the East. The day that Rwanda believes that the cost of military action in the Kivus far outweighs the benefits, then real talks will lead to peace. But for now, it's simply Rwanda pointing a big stick at the Congo. Exactly, while playing the victim simultaneously. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Really, Congo simply has to, it's kind of like you on the playground, right? You on the playground, this dude bothering you. Like, you just minding your business, this guy just bothering you. He following you around, he just bothering you, bro. Like, every single day in the hallway, you know, this dude just bothering you. He just belligerent, right? You know, one day, bro, you just gotta, you know, you just gotta punch him dead in the mouth, right? That's how you, like, on the playground, in school, that's how you gotta handle it and gain your respect. One day, if you just keep allowing, you know, the bully to just, you know, bully you and taunt you and humiliate you, you know, eventually you just gotta stand 10 toes down for your respect. Which has happened in the past before. Like we mentioned before, the Battle of Katona, the Operation Katona, where the Rwandan military got humiliated, had to run into the forest. It has happened in the past, right? The Congo has definitely, you know, punched Rwanda in the mouth, you know, made them bleed, you know, knock their teeth out before. It happened in the past, but you have to maintain that same level of deterrence and defense, right? You can't ever let your guard down. Like I said, you have a neighbor who is belligerent. So you just have to understand that you have a belligerent neighbor and you have to do what you have to do as a central government to protect the integrity of your territory, right? At the end of the day, you cannot control the fact that your neighbor is belligerent. Only thing you can control is make sure that you have the proper systems in place to defend yourself. That's all you can do. You can't control what anybody else does. You can only control what you do. That is it, and that is all. That's the reality of life, bro. Of course, it would be a beautiful thing if black men, African men, could be able to live in a world where black men could work together and cooperate with each other for our collective uplift. But there's always going to be these type of archetypes. There's always going to be these actors, right, that are only out for their personal, you know, benefit, their own personal enrichment, or for their own personal group. It's always been like this. We always had guys like this, even back to the days of the slave trade, right? We've had leaders who would launch attacks into the neighboring country, into the neighboring territory, to go grab up the individuals to go sell them down at the coast. But now in the modern day, we have individuals who go into the neighboring country, instead of grabbing up the people, you know, we grab up the critical minerals, right? Because we ain't selling slaves no more, so now we selling the critical minerals to the Europeans. So it's the same thing. We've always had these guys among us, man. How you think so many of us, you know, ended up on the plantation, on the sugar plantation, or the cotton plantation, or the tobacco plantation, right? It's because we've always had these archetypes among us. Paul Kagame not the first one with this type of mentality. We've always had these individuals with this type of mentality. Now, to me, it's kind of archaic. To me, it's kind of primitive, because you would think that if you are a student of history, then you should understand that launching incursions into the territory of your neighbor, forcing families to flee in terror as if we're still living in the days of the slave trade. Listen, man, we got to update the operating system, man. We got to update the operating system. You know, we got to get these dinosaurs out of power, man. These guys, man, with this outdated technology, this outdated mental technology. But anyways, let's continue. This person said, we understand, but let's not pretend that M23, with its advanced training and equipment, is operating alone in the forest without your support. If you believe aiding them is the right course of action, then own it, but don't hide it in the shadows. That being said, we need to move fast and resolve this as the East African community so we can put it behind us and focus on shared interests and priorities that unite us all. This person said, Kagame should leave the Congo. You cannot invade my house and then ask to negotiate. Now listen, the Congo simply needs a leader that has the testicular fortitude to stand tall in front of any opposition. That's it. The same way Kabila, even though, like I said, some individuals might view Kabila as a traitor for cutting a deal with the foreign government. But at the end of the day, he stood tall when Kagame attacked him. He stood tall, right? Like I said, when the bully comes and bothers you in the hallway, you just got to stand tall and punch him in the mouth, right? And that's what Kabila did. Kabila punched him in the mouth. Now, when it comes to Felix Tshisekedi, I don't know if he has the testicular fortitude to, put the army on its feet to effectively punch any adversary in the mouth. It's got to be the right leader. It's got to be the right man for the job. Now, let's continue. This person said, how can an established country talk to rebels? Listen, man. After you done kill hundreds of people, ain't no more talking, bro. After you kill the governor in the city, ain't no talking, right? Like, take a look up on the screen. I seen this headline like last week. The so-called rebels killed the Congo governor as the fighting intensifies. And just the other day, right, M23 appoints the new governor for North Kivu, right? And then I seen this flag going around. I seen this flag, the Kivu Republic, as if they want to annex that territory. Now, we know if that territory does get annexed and breaks off, it's simply going to be a vassal or an extension of Rwanda, basically, right? Notice how every time these guys take up arms against the government, where do they go? They run to Rwanda, right? When Kabila fired them boys, where'd they go? They ran to Rwanda for arms and ammunition. Now, we've seen this story before. If you remember when the so-called rebels in northern Mali, they introduced their brand new flag for their sovereign state, right? Remember that leader? Take a look up on the screen. This guy back on November 30th, 2024, right? Fahad Ag Al-Mahmoud. He said this: born today, November 30th, 2024, the Azawad Liberation Front and the Azawad flag, right? November 30th. Keep in mind, November 30th. Now, this headline, December 1st, the next day, drone strikes by Mali's military regime kill 8 Tuareg leaders in the country's north. You see, this is what happens when you have leadership that is serious, right? This is what happens when you have leadership that is 10 toes down, right? Ain't no dialogue, ain't no conversation. You're introducing your flags and announcing your governors. Listen, launch the missiles. Like I see me going to launch the missiles, man. Them boys announced their flag on November 30th. Them boys was dead by December 1st. That's what happens when you have leadership that is serious, right? And I believe that Congo one day can have leadership that is serious to that capacity and to that level. But Felix Tshisekedi, I don't know if he's the man for the job, right? But I do believe there is a man out there. I do believe that there's got to be at least one brother in the Congo that's the right man for the job. I do believe it, man. I do believe it's definitely a brother in the Congo right now that we don't know his name, we don't know who he is, but I do believe that he got what it takes, right? Come from behind the shadows, bro. Come from behind the shadows and, come to the center stage, bro. It's your time to shine. It's your time to shine. We need that strong leader in the Congo to really stand 10 toes down against all adversaries and protect the territorial integrity of the nation. Step up to the plate, brother. The people need you. Anyways, man, it's your boy Nepakar, that's Salim, back in the Billy, yes indeed. Cash app in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the Al. Peace.
Gotta go get it, I'm never waiting. Stay the trends and I'm innovative. Shorty, she on me, she said she love me. Straight to the top and I'm elevated. Straight to the top and I'm never stopping. Running my business, I'm enterprising. Working that money, I get it fast. Stay in my lane and I hit the gas. Counting my blessings and make it last. Don't want a fraction, I want it all. Stick to the code and the protocol. Feel like a king and I'll never fall. Fuck up a check when I'm in the mall. Riding that German, I'm in a Benz. Plotting revenge, I don't make amends. Hitting that corner and make it bend. Up in the sky like commercial pilots. Keep it 100, I move in silence. Know we united, they can't divide us. Say that she love when I give her guidance. Told me she love me, I know it's real. Know they gon' hate, but I know the deal. Know they gon' hate when you so official. Paying my dues like I'm sacrificial. Handle my business so beneficial. Ride on my enemies with the miss. Ride on my enemies with a chop. Coming for blood, make them call the doctor. Coming for blood, I ain't showing mercy. Probably gon' kill me or try to hurt me. Probably gon' kill me, I keep it tending. Bulletproof vehicle when I whip it. Came from the bottom, I really live it. Really, my life is a motion picture. Lately, I feel like the trend is topping. Keep it authentic, I keep it honest. Up at the bank with a new deposit. Call me the boss and I pay the cost. Feel like a rocket, I'm taking off. Come to the crib and she take it off. Gotta go get it, I'm never waiting. Stay in the trends and I'm innovative. Shorty, she on me, she said she love me. Straight to the top and I'm elevated. Straight to the top and I'm never stopping. Running my business, I'm enterprising. Working that money, I get it fast. Stay in my lane and I hit the gas. Counting my blessings and make it last. Don't want a fraction, I want it all. Stick to the code and the protocol. Feel like a king and I'll never fall. Fuck up a check when I'm in the mall. Riding that German, I'm in a Benz. Plotting revenge, I don't make amends. Hitting that corner and make it bend. Go. Never wait. Innovative. Say she love me. Elevated. never stopping. Enterprising, get it fast.